Um, I feel myself just like a DJ today because I'll try to turn on the music. So if you do not like much sound, do it quiet, please. So William Blake in Russian music in 2010s and 2020s. I'd like to tell that there are four main names in Russian Blakean music. In today, we can name Dmitrii Smirnov, Grigory Poluhutenko, Leonid Fyodorov, and Alexander Belousov. So you can see that Blake is rather popular in Russia, in Russian music, and it's very interesting. I don't know why, really. As for Dmitry Nikolaevich Smirnov, I think people from England know him because he lived in Britain for some years, I don't know, some decades. He's a Russian British composer born in USSR, and he moved to England in the 1990s, as far as I remember. He was translating Blake and wrote music on his works. Here you can see the list of his music on Blake. It's rather big, and he wrote symphony music. As for our period, you can see he wrote operas and chamber operas and ballet and so on, different genres. And he wrote the last one of Blake and music. It was Visionary Heads after Pictures by William Blake for piano. In my presentation, I included some QR codes that can lead you to some music I'm telling about. Here, this QR code can lead you to Visionary Heads on YouTube. I suppose it was Dima's daughter, Alisa Smirnov, who played this thing on piano. You can see it, and I think it's rather interesting. I don't know, is it Russian music? Because Smirnov lived in England his last years, but nevertheless, I saw him in his house in St. Albans, and we talk Russian, so I don't know, maybe Russian and British music. The next one is Grigory Poluhutenko. He's a musician and poet from St. Petersburg. He's rather popular in Russia, and he's a pop musician. So several genres he works in. It's a Russian author song. Maybe you could hear such names as Vysotsky, Okudjava, and guitar folk. His styles are rather different. In 2019, he issued an album, 5 songs for verses by William Blake, and he sings in English. Especially for Camila, I found during our meeting, I found a cover of this album. You can see it here. I don't know what is the painter who recovered it no after Blake, but it's rather interesting, and I want you to listen a part of Tiger in Grigory Poluhutenko. I think it's rather interesting to listen.
Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forest of the night, what immortal hand or eye could frame thy fearful symmetry? In what distant deeps or skies burns the fire of thine eyes? On what wings the key aspire? What the hand sees the fire? And what shoulder and what heart could twist the sinews of thy heart? And when thy heart began to beat, What red hand and what red feet, what the hammer, what the chain, in what furnace was they brain, what the anvil, what red grasp, there its deadly terrors clasp, when the stars threw down their spears, and watered heaven with their tears. Did he smile his walk to see? Did he who made the lamb make thee? Tiger, tiger, burning bright in the forests of the night, what immortal and alright, the frame they fearful symmetry.
Sorry. Leonid Fyodorov. He's a leader of Russian alternative rock band called Auction, and it's rather popular in Russia. It works about, I don't know, 20 years. And in 2020, on lockdown, it was rather hard in Russia. Leonid Fyodorov made a Blake project. It was a project of musical videos, not an album first, but musical videos first. And then it were connected and composed as an album, and special for Camila. I found a cover. You can see it here. And Leonid Fyodorov told that translations in Russian of Blake's poetry were not convenient. So he asked Igor Delfinov, a poet living now in Germany, to translate Blake's lyrics once again for singing, for songs. So it were new translations, and they were rather interesting as far as I think. I'll try now to show you that was different lyrics from different books of Blake, songs of innocence, songs of experience, and so on. Jerusalem and Diddle's Feet, a famous part of the Milton poem.
И шел он в древности седой по зеленеющим холмам, и в Англии прекрасный след оставил Агнец Божий сам.
And so on. Then the next video from Leonid Fyodorov, I'd like to share with you some taiga. Now, please make it quiet because it's an aggressive sound, as for me. It is a different version of taiga. A year after Polhutinka's taiga, that tiger was quiet and gentle, and this tiger is, as for me, aggressive, some aggressive.
Тигр, тигр, ты горишь в чаще, где ночная тишь.
And so on. I think it's enough. Oh, sorry. And the next and the last one is Alexander Belousov. It's an interesting Russian Moscow composer and director who became to Blake rather early. In 2010, he made a musical performance with reading of Book of Loss, English text in a nightclub, musical nightclub Dom in Moscow, with electronical music, video, and doc videos, documental videos, and so on. This QR code lead you to YouTube of this performance. It was rather interesting. This cover is a cover for his Book of Laws that were made in 2023. I'll tell about it some later. In 2018, he wrote some music on Thel. It was an interesting performance in Moscow because it was a kind of hoax. He wrote to me to plant these papers with the notation in different places. Maybe someone would believe it and try to play it. He made it in a style of Gregorian chant. It was not it had not no performance realization, so it was just a notation, but for all the Book of Thel. An interesting experiment as for me, but later he wrote and composed and directed an opera in a Moscow theater, Electrotheater Stanislavski. You can see the cover, The Book of Seraphim. It was a very interesting performance because it had Russian and English texts together of Thel, Book of Thel, and it was Blake combined with Dostoevsky's novel Demons, Bessie, in English translation, a part that is named Stavrogin's Confession. If you remember Bessie, you demons, you understand what it means. So Thel, who wants to find some experience, and Stavrogin, who wants to confess, they meet together, and composer and director made a whole one plot for them. It was very interesting. The combination of Blake and Dostoevsky can be seen earlier in Gide, Andrei Gide, and Czeslaw Milosz. It had some tradition. This comparison had some tradition. So this opera, it was rather popular, and it was high estimated and had some nomination for Golden Mask Award in Russia, best performances opera, best work of the director, and so on. The QR code lead you to the page of this opera in a theater site, and I want to show you some parts of it. Thel had two faces, a Thel singing and a Thel dancing here. So this innocent hero had two parts. Please enjoy. So you can see the garden, you can see the innocent girls, and you can see that they are school children. It's a kind of interesting solution, as for me as a theater critic. But I want to show you one more piece of this opera. It is Thel and Stavrogin together. Do it.
Так это было мне приятно. Крошечный пилки от жалости, но я преодолел самое чувство моего страха. Она была смущена.
It was a very complicated show, but why did Belousov made Thel and Stavrogin together? Because Thel and Stavrogin are close in their desire to break some limits, to find some experience. Both characters are potential heroes and so on. Then in the final, we see that Thel becomes pregnant and Stavrogin becomes acquitted. And the main idea is close to Thel's idea as far as I see it. No one lives for himself. So it was an interesting, I don't remember. Okay, it was an interesting performance to show how Blake can be involved in a Russian and world experience of literature, culture, music, and so on. Alexander Belousov in 2023 wrote an album, Book of Loss, in English. It was made in project Nosferatu, held by Belousov, with some musical videos, and we can hear first part Eno in English. It was in English. Let us listen to it.
Aged mother, who the curate of food and wine, in the day of thunders in all time. Sitting beneath the eternal oak, tremble the truth and dreadful earth, and that his deep rock falls. Aged mother, who the curate of food and wine, in the day of thunders in all time.
So, ambient industrial hip hop project. As for me, it's an interesting example of Blake in music, maybe not only in Russian, but in music, in all music at all. QR code leads you to the page of this project. It's my last page, Blake in Russian music, main spots, main names. I don't know why, but Blake becomes a real interesting figure in Russian music of last 2 decades. Earlier, I do not remember so much examples of it. Why? I do not know. Maybe because there were some interesting spots in Blake and Rush, some new translations, some museums, like in Pushkin Museum in 2011, yes, it was 2011. And when I asked, when Leonid Fyodorov was asked why did he come to Blake, he answered that he visited Tate Gallery collection in 2019. So we can some find answers, but not all, I suppose. Thank you.